Wonderful.
you?
And yourself?
Good. Okay. So the show today is about CBD.
Mhm.
You're Kevin, Mr. Gray. You have a CBD farm.
Yes.
All right. So, how did you get started doing a CBD farm? Like, what made you want to do it?
Well, it became legal. Georgia had in 2020 allowed it to become legal as a crop that you can grow.
Mhm.
The pandemic was going on, so everybody was at home. So why not start a farm?
No, for real though. So, it was during the pandemic, you said, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
that was the year the first year where they actually gave out the licenses because everything was kind of a scramble because we actually in 2019 started to research it a little bit more and
Mhm.
plowed our paperwork and just waiting for them to say okay,
Mhm.
here's your license or allow for you to move forward past here. So it was a very good learning experience for us and a lot of other farmers.
Gotcha. And how long did the license take to get? Like, was it like really tedious paperwork and background checks or?
It's the government at the end of the day.
Mhm.
It's the agriculture department. So, yeah, that's the paperwork. It's a lot of paperwork. You have to give GPS locations of your farms to the DEA. So they got all your information in your system of. So if somebody do report your farm or something, so they won't just be having the police show up at your house unnecessarily. So that's why it's another good thing to make sure you do everything by the book. So if they do show up, that you won't have any legal issues.
Right. Because they can think that you're growing something else that you're not supposed to grow.
Correct.
So, and
Correct.
you're kind of giving them authorization to go ahead and like search the grounds, or do they still have to have like a warrant?
Oh no! When you apply for your permit and everything, they have the right to come and inspect your crop anytime they want, unannounced. Because they do surprise checks just to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Wow.
Because some people may be trying to grow marijuana versus hemp,
Right.
and so if you get caught out there in the fields, then you got to suffer the consequences. That's also why need to make sure you get a reputable business to get your seeds from or your plants from to guarantee that you're going to be in these situations. And testing is always important.
Mm. Okay, so when you test, do you test like the seed to make sure it is what it is, or do you have to wait and test it when it's growing?
You can get your seeds tested as well. Just depends on what capabilities the lab have that you go to.
Mhm.
Here in Georgia, close to our farm, we use SJ Labs, which is in Macon.
Mm.
They're great to work with. They're quick turnaround on their reports and everything. And if you're gonna go to that route of trying to grow, make sure you test and keep sending in samples just to make sure you stay within compliance.
Okay, so you test your actual crop, like you
Oh
personally?
yes, yes. You test every as the crop grows and starts to flower.
Hmm.
You testing. I would stay on your testing because
Hmm.
as soon as it get close to getting too hot, that's where you can get the government regulator in so they can come and test it and send it off to make sure you stay in compliance. But if you already have reports that you can show, where you've been keeping up with testing on your farm and stuff, that goes a long way as well. Because I do believe they use SJ Labs as well to do their processing for the state. So,
Hmm.
that's why we use them. It's perfect to use the same thing. So they can say, well, we receive samples throughout the year from this farm. Their stuff showed in compliance all the way up to this point. Then that way, if something happened, then you can kind of figure out what happened and what's going on.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, Now, tell the people like what is CBD?
CBD is a particular strand of hemp that they pull out of the hemp flower and use its medicinal purposes. It
Mhm.
don't get you high. You know, if you're looking for a high, you won't get high with CBD. That's not what the aim of what it was introduced for. It was more for health issues people dealing with, and prefer not to take pills and other that nature. They, more holistic, more natural products, and so CBD is just a strand of the flower that they're taking out of to use as medicinal purposes.
Okay. Okay. So it all stems from the same flower. So what's the difference between like hemp, CBD, THC? Because it's a whole bunch of letters and people will get it confused,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So they
yeah.
okay, well, I want to take something that don't give me high, or does this give me high, or you know what I mean? So what's the difference?
So they all of it's in the cannabis family. Only the difference is the the CBD and the THC are two different strands of the plant, um, which your plant can test high, and your CBD plants can turn out to test high for THC if you let it grow. You know, all the way out through its gestation period. Um, so that's the other part about testing to make sure you don't get into that wacky tobacco type of THC, but it still won't be so high that you can feel it. Um, but the marijuana plant, of course, those are particularly grown to have the THC side to give you that euphoria kind of feeling. Um, so that's what that particular part of the cannabis is grown for, because you can also grow in industrial hemp, which is don't have any properties of um, well, it has light properties of CBD, and you can pull out the other different strands that they have as well to use for different holistic, because they haven't researched enough of the plant to really figure out all that it does.
Right.
And so that's why new legislation has been coming into play as well to help us research more, um, to figure out all what we can pull out. But definitely separating those two plants and allowing the research to go forward has helped out, because with us just allowing us just to figure out the hemp side, allowed us to go down the CBD side of the cannabis plant for research and things like that. So um, it's definitely a blessing to be able to finally work with this plant to be able to figure out what's good and not for us.
Right, right, right. So do you grow, well, not you personally, but do people grow CBD the same way that they would grow like a THC plant?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Same way. It's the same family. You can grow it indoor. You can grow it outdoor. Just depends on what you're trying to grow it for.
Okay, okay. But once you grow the CBD plant, doesn't it look very similar to a THC plant?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Very similar. It smells very similar. Um, Only way you will really know the difference is once you go to test it. That's going to be how you determine whether it's CBD or whether it's marijuana.
Gotcha. Okay. Because CBD plants, they have them to where it's like totally CBD or with a little bit of THC in it. So isn't it different types too?
It just depends on what strand of seeds that you purchase. Just like with marijuana, you can buy some seeds that are super potent, or you can buy some seeds that are, very mild and don't have very much THC. It just depends on what seeds you grow and what strand that you're trying to grow. It goes back to your purpose of what is your end game of what do you want to produce out of it.
Gotcha. So when you have a farm, do you have to tell them what kind of seeds you're growing?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
You tell them what strands you're growing, whether it's in industrial, whether it's flower. You got to be very specific in your paperwork with the state when you're filing this stuff. So don't cut no corners. Don't think don't try and be slick. um, Follow the rules and get your seeds from a reputable dealer at the end of the day.
Right. Because if it's not what's on that paperwork, then they can what, fine you or shut you down?
They'll fine you and shut you down to start it off. Depends on um, how far into deception you may be going or what, I don't know what avenue you may be going down with to make them come knock on your door. But it's just a case by case. If they shut you down, take it with grace. Just follow the rules. Because at the
Right.
end of the day, like our first year, our plants, we was late getting the testing guy in because we kept getting rain, and so that kept pushing the testing days back. And so our plants tested hot the first year. So that meant that we couldn't sell the flower because it was over the amount of THC that is granted for those plants, and so we had to cut it all down. We had to pile it up, set a fire to it, or either mulch it up, and then you had to you had to keep video evidence or pictures to show to the state and the government that you destroyed this plant, that it didn't make it out there to the streets for resale.
Wow.
Yep,
Evidence? That's crazy.
yep, it's very regulated.
Wow.
So they come knock on your door asking to see the proof, because they don't see no product in the field, and you have to be able to produce it on the spot. Otherwise, you'll have some problems.
Gotcha. Have you ever had any problems? Like someone coming knocking on your door?
No, we had a couple of surprise inspections where they just showed up unannounced, but it wasn't a problem for us. We follow the rules, so you know, a lot of times they're just happy to come and see what different grow techniques people are doing, or how the crops are looking. Is it going to be a good crop this year, and whether you have it tested and stuff. They're not buttholes about it. They're not going to show up at your house in the dark, or early in the morning trying to see what's going on.
Right,
Um, all the people who show up at that time of morning, if they thinking you trying to do something illegal, then you got whole other problems to worry about.
right,
So
right, right. Right. How long have you been in business?
since 2020,
Oh,
2020,
2020. And business has been good?
this this has been up and down. It's because we did our first expo in, was it 2021, right after the pandemic, in Atlanta. They had a CBD expo. We did us a big booth out there, and we was just surprised to see how many people actually would show up for this, and we actually did very well and sold out all of our honey. Our CBD honey was our biggest seller, and so now we've been trying to package it up and sell it in bulk instead of selling it on our online store. So because we closed our online store off to try and sell a little bit more in bulk instead of
Mhm.
to retail and stuff. So
Wow.
um, it's a little bit easier that way for us, having to deal with the day to day of running the online store and getting the order shipped out. It's easy to deal with these bigger bulk orders because you know we got that in bulk. We can get it out to them quicker, and um, so. But it's still fun. It's still product being sold at the end of the day.
Right.
Um, so.
Huh. Okay, so, but how do you find these companies so you can sell them in bulk though?
Well, a lot of them we actually made through the when we went to the expo, when we had our booth at the expo. A lot of the contacts we made there, they trickled in, and some of them it took maybe a year for them to call us. Some of them it took maybe 2 years to call you. But at the end of the day, they still working on their end, trying to perfect their side as well. Because that's one thing you want to have everything lined up before you jump in here. Because with our farm, we had to build our infrastructure from the ground up because our farm haven't been at that time haven't been used since like the early 1930s because we using our great grandfather's farm ID bill. We still using that today because he started farming on that property back in 1901. So that
Wow.
property's been in our family for a very long time.
Wow. And how big is the property?
At from what our grandparents been telling us, at one point he probably had about 8,000 acres of land out there. Um, yeah, and then of course he got kids, so you leave him. Once he died, he left a lot of it to each son, and each son had divided it amongst his kids. So the section that we actually own, I think, is 120 acres.
Ooh, that's huge.
Yeah, it is, but we're still surrounded by our cousins, that owns the other parts of it that was still within the family. So even once we go walking through the woods, we'll still wind up on family property.
Right. Hey, cousin, might as well borrow some sugar while you're there,
Hey,
huh?
there you go. So it don't even matter. Don't even matter.
Gotcha. Are they doing anything with their land too, or is it just you that have the farm?
We've been having a lot of different cousins' interests get back into coming back out to the land. My uncles and things been doing other things on the land, like they got hogs and goats. So he building the meat side of the infrastructure for the farm. So they've been putting in a lot of work trying to get the fencing up and just taking care of all the pigs they got right now and stuff. A lot of hard work.
Because you don't want them hogs sneaking over, eating your CBD, then they gonna be toe up. I
I,
don't think that's the type
look,
you want to eat.
the deer did that for us the first year. They ate a good little bit of product the first year. The second year was a little bit easier to keep them out of it, but that first year they they got in there.
Wow. And then I know if you eat so much CBD, you can get a little woozy, a little kind of like a high feeling if you eat a lot, right?
It'll take a lot to get you. It'll take more than what you can eat to get you high off of. So the deer, they just got a lot of natural healing effects, I guess.
That was floating. Feeling
That's
good.
right. Just make them nice and perfect for hunting season, I guess.
Wow. Okay. So did you have to like build a better type of fence to keep them out? Like, how did that work?
You can do build a fence to try and keep them out. We decided not to,
Hmm.
just because of um, the cost to do it. It wasn't worth it. For us, it wasn't. So we wound up just trying different sprays and stuff that you can spray on the outside of the field,
Right.
or either natural stuff like lavenders. Like we was trying anything, lemongrass to keep bugs back, so we don't have to spray chemicals and stuff on near our plants because we were trying to do completely organic. So using the different plants and things to combat the bugs, and then keeping a walk on your field, having a nuisance deer permit to be out there at night. So if your deer get in your field, then you're able to dispatch of him to keep her from eating your crop, and
Mm.
you do that a time or two, and they kind of get the message to stay away. They're not wanted, so
So you haven't had any trouble since then with the deers?
they stay on their side of the forest. We stay on ours
Oh,
until hunting season starts.
but you know what? They probably learned their lesson from last time. They told they cousin like,
Say,
you don't want to eat that.
Yeah, stay from up there. Stay in the front yard where the peach trees are at. They can eat all the peach trees stuff they want.
But don't eat that
They
CBD.
stay away from the cash crop. But it's a hard business to get into because that first year, so many farmers after that first year they quit doing it because um, Georgia really didn't have the infrastructure set up to really accommodate like some of the other states did. You know, they kind of just rolled it out and just kind of rolled the dice and see where it went to kind of know where they needed to work more on that. But they're definitely got a lot better now. You know, changing the rules and stuff to allow you to get your product to market, you know, whether it's in this state or another state. So um, they definitely done better. One big thing that we was looking to do was because they were supposed to allow was it medical marijuana here in Georgia. They was working on legislation for that,
Yeah.
and it started with the growing. You know, they was going to allow so many farmers to participate in this program, and but at the end of the day, it wound up getting sold out to their buddies and friends in the government, and so the courts wind up having to squash it, and you know they're having to start over from scratch, and so we're going to see if they decide to go down that road again, and hopefully they do because it expands the business to allow you to grow a little bit more things to make more money at the end of the day for a farm.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because personally, I do have a medical marijuana card in Georgia. And
Is it
I've been,
just for the oils?
yeah, for the oil.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So it does say oil on it. My first card said oil. My second one, I'm not sure if it said oil or not. I have to look at it. But the oil, you can only go but a certain amount of oil on there. And it was
Correct.
so like my first card said a certain amount, and the second one didn't have an amount on there,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah. They probably because they know the tolerance increase. So what you probably the first year was probably good for the first year, but it's probably not going to be enough for the second year because you
uh,
you get used to it over time, just like with anything you take. Your body's going to get used to it.
oh, so you think it goes by person to person? Like if they know I already had a 1 year, they gave me that minimum and now they just kind of giving me a basic card? Or do you think that it's overall like say they updated it at the state or something, but then it's like, okay, you can have this now. Like there's no type of limit on the card.
The state probably changed their regulation. It's more than likely what happened, and that's probably why your card changed. Because they rolling with it too, trying to figure this out as they go along and following other states, looking at other states to see how their programs are operated, and trying to see if it fits in with their views and politics, and see if it'll work at the end of the day. So it may get changed a lot moving forward because I know the oils have helped so many kids and stuff with seizures,
Mm,
just having seizures to combat that stuff. Because a lot of those parents don't want to give their kids some of those medicines that it take to prevent that stuff because they're like zombies,
mm,
and some of
wow.
it just don't agree with them. And you know, if you got to give them some CBD or some medical marijuana to prevent them from having a seizure or um, dealing with pain from cancer
Yeah.
and things of that nature, then hey, go for it. What's the point of shoving a pill down your throat?
Right. And that's all a part of holistic medicine.
Right.
So speaking of, I do want to go into, since we're on this topic, what is CBD good for? Because I know you said, they'll give it to kids and people with seizures and stuff like that. So to people who don't know, what is CBD good for? Like, why do people take CBD? Like, what's so special about it?
Or like I have a neighbor across from me that's dealing with cancer right now, and so I've been giving him some of the CBD oil and stuff to try it out to see if that's something that agrees with him because he don't like the medicines. Like some of the medicines they give him, he's saying one of them gives him like terrible nightmares, and he
Mm,
already can't sleep, have trouble sleeping, and then to have a pill to give to allow you to sleep and then get terrorize you while you sleep, that
yeah,
ain't no fun. So he said he rather not take that and stay up. So, and the research that he did, he said he found somebody that said that they used CBD and changed their diets up and was able to fight the cancer back enough to shrink it. I'm not going to say that's exactly what it's going to do for everybody. Everybody's different. Their body reacts different. This is just what this one person said.
right,
Um, but just each his own. Everybody's body work different, but I would say give it a try if you prefer not to have to deal with taking a lot of pills and stuff.
right.
Because like some of our elderly patients, they like to have the honey because they like the CBD honey in the morning. They can have with their breakfast, put on their biscuit, and that help loosen some of their arthritis in their hands and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Allow them to get their day started without having them hurt hands to get it going. But it's different ways you can use it, different ways you can take it. Just up to you.
gotcha. Now I do know that CBD is good for, like you said, seizures, headaches. I get migraines. So when I take like my CBD oil or whatever, or gummies, then my migraine will go away in like 5 minutes. Because I
Mm.
like one time I was at work and I had a migraine like all day and I took Advil. Advil it just kind of like minimized a little bit, but it didn't go away. So by the end of the day, I'm like searching like what I got in my bag that I can take, and I totally forgot I had some CBD, right? So 5 minutes later, my headache went away. Ain't that something?
Yeah, it's just amazing just how some people's bodies react differently to, um, hard medicine versus something as light as CBD. It always amazes me. It just the simplest things can work for so many different ailments.
Yeah, no, for real. So, and also like back pain and like you said, arthritis and like any type of pain because CBD is the healing effects of the marijuana plant
Mhm.
or hemp or whatever that they want to call
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? So it's a healing effect. So, which doesn't cause a high. So it's
Nope.
the only thing in it that doesn't cause a high, right?
And you can use the plant for so many things. So after you take the flower off the top, the rest of the plant still has so many other properties. You can use the hemp fiber to make clothing because we work with a lady out of Virginia, and that's what her company does. She sources her hemp from India,
Mhm.
over there where they growing it in the Himalayas,
Mm,
and so the people over there they're growing it, they're cutting it down, they taking the fiber, separating the fibers and everything, and stringing them out into yarn, and then taking that same fiber and making clothing with it. So they got a whole clothing line of hemp clothing.
that's crazy.
Yep, shirt, shorts, because a lot of people don't realize that that was some of the first clothing um, that was made was with hemp. Rope, you can make rope with hemp. You can make cardboard with hemp. You can build a house out of hemp, basically, with some of the materials from hemp. They can be turned into so many different things. Because we was working with a engineering student, and that's what her thing was trying to build a house completely out of hemp, trying to show the concept. They got hemp flooring, so you can go buy hardwood flooring made of hemp. Yeah,
But that's gotta be super expensive because you need a lot, right?
it's more renewable than trees because you can have multiple harvests of hemp in a year. Trees, it takes what 15 years for them to get mature enough before you can even harvest it. and then that's only one harvest that you're getting out of it, and then it takes another 15 years to get a harvest. In that same time frame, I can have just as much, produce just as much material to equal that same amount of trees that you're going to be cutting down over that 15-year span that it takes it to grow. So it's renewable a lot quicker than trees. So yeah.
I wish you had like a plant on you so I could see like the difference, like what is the hemp, what is the CBD, like how the CBD part look like, or the THC, like because
But
some
see
people,
that
huh?
they look alike. That's the thing. They by the naked eye, you're not going to be able to tell by looking at the plant whether it's a CBD or whether it's a THC plant. Because it's whether it's hemp or whether it's marijuana, they both grow the exact same. Only way you're going to be able to tell, like if you grow industrial hemp, and then that's not grown for the THC in it, so you'll definitely be able to tell that that's not a plant that you're going to be smoking. Um, so it's hard. Only way you're gonna find out the difference is testing at the end of the day between the two, hemp and marijuana. Testing is the only way you're gonna find out.
So okay, so if you have a marijuana plant, right?
Mm.
So isn't it hemp in it and CBD in it?
Depends on the strand. It goes back to the strand of the seed that you have, because depending on the seed, it can branch off into many different strands on what you're looking for. It's all about the cannabinoids at the end of the day, which one it's leading to, whether it's going to be a THC, get you high, um, was it GOC? It's so many different spectrums, but it's only one part of the plant that can get you high as far as the THC side is concerned. The rest of it doesn't get you high. The rest of it's just for medicinal purposes only.
Right, because I have like hemp seeds and I would make like hemp milk and different things like that. So we know hemp is legal and we know CBD is legal. But
Hmm.
it's a like people really don't know. Like if they looking at a plant, like you said, like you don't know. So you're like, okay, well, where does it come from in the plant? Like how would we know? So that's why a lot of people just don't know a difference between the two. Like they don't, you know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
Say if you're gonna be growing any, because I don't, it's not legal to at this point to just grow in your backyard. Like you just can't go out there and throw some hemp seeds out in the yard and just grow 'em.
Okay.
Um, Police will, if somebody called, they're gonna consider it, you know,
They don't think it's weed.
illegal because you don't have any a permit to grow it. So I wouldn't advise anybody to try and grow it at the house unless you have a permit. And a permit is easy to get it. It's a lot of paperwork in the beginning, but once you get it, if you want to try and grow it at your house, is just do it the legal way. You can grow a nursery for research purposes if you want to go that route, so you don't have to necessarily be trying to grow fields and stuff like that of it. Get you a permit for experimenting. But as long as you got the permit, you're safe. You don't have to worry about, you know, if somebody do call the police on you, you'll be fine.
Right. Now, some places where it's legal, they don't need a permit, right?
No, you're still gonna need a permit to grow it. I haven't seen any states that I'm aware of at this point that allows you to grow without a permit. Um, but I would definitely do your research in whatever state you in, because you got to remember it's hemp is legal to grow because of the farm bill that came out 2016 farm bill that allowed hemp to be grown again in the United States as a cash crop again. Because it used to be one of the largest producing crop out of the United States was hemp at one point in time.
Mhm.
Um, so just follow your regulation. I would definitely do your research with your state before you try and grow any yourself. And if they require a permit, please get the permit.
Right. Because I know that I don't want to say what state it is, but he said it was legal there, and he said it's people like in their front yards and backyards growing plants, and plants is higher than their fences. You know what I mean? But nobody is stopping, and I don't know if it's because of that state. You know, when maybe that's a bad state or a bad area, and they're not gonna stop it, but. I don't know. He said it was legal when people growing in their front yards like a tree.
But see, they probably have the recreational cards or the medical cards. Now, I think if you got medical cards, you may be able to fall under different rules to allow you to grow use
Okay.
some plants, but that still goes back to checking with your state, follow your regulation and your rules. Because if you do have a medical card, certain states do allow you to grow, and it's a limit on how many plants you can grow as well. But just reach out and find that out if you want to go that route.
Gotcha. Okay. Also, so when you grow your CBD and it's ready, how long can you keep the actual like plant before does it go bad or like how does that work?
The longer you let it grow, so harvest time is typically around this time of year, September,
Okay.
October, maybe a little bit before, depends on when you plant it. And it also depends on your strand. So by August through October is typically maybe your planting time. As long as you dry it out properly, follow your proper drying techniques,
Hmm.
and dry it out, you can preserve it for a long time. It depends on what you're doing it for as well. Like I had some farmers that bucked theirs, so they basically just chopped it all up into to fine matter for them to use in for paper. I think he even made kitty litter with some of it. He sells some kind of kitty litter he makes out of it. Yeah. I was surprised with that too.
CBD?
Con- Kitty litter and even concrete bricks
With CBD?
with hemp,
Okay, with him. Okay.
which is it's the same thing because you hemp is and CBD. CBD is just what you're extracting out of the hemp plant.
Okay. But I'm just like kitty litter. Like, why would you waste him on kitty litter?
Well, because you can strain all the oils out of it, and then the byproduct left over would be this fibery mass. So why not use it in something else? That's why I was saying it has more than one um, property that can be used. You can use
Yeah.
it, you can strain the oils out of it, and then once you get that out, move it on to the next process, send it to be made into the little hemp blocks that they had, because they was making hemp blocks to make building materials out of houses with as well. That's why I was like, there's so many different industries and areas that this plant can move, and it's just finding the area that fits well with you and your business at the end of the day.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, so what different products do you make out of your CBD?
So our products was limited to the CBD honey,
Hmm.
um, the extraction oils, um, the maple syrup. We got the
Mm,
wonderful CBD maple syrup,
I
so you
like
can have that in morning time. Um, Gummies, we did make some gummies for a while,
that.
but we're stepping back from that because it's such a big field with the gummies right now. So that's just what we focus on at the moment.
Okay. Now, do you sell those to the public like you were saying, right? But what if like somebody like me, like I want to just buy like one or two items, like would you do that anymore? Because I know you said you stopped, right?
Yes, we still do. a lot of times my uncle will go and sell at the market because we take a lot of the vegetables that he grow,
Mhm.
and he'll take them to market and he'll set a little stand up out there as well and sell some of the CBD honeys and the oils and maple syrups and stuff. Because a lot of people like the honey because it's locally sourced honey, so it's local to our region and our area of Georgia. Um, so that's why a lot of people like it.
Gotcha. So you would infuse the CBD with the local Georgia honey.
Yes.
Gotcha. And
Or
technically, both of them are local, your CBD and the honey.
correct. Or you can have a once your plants, if you can keep some bees around your field, while your plants are blooming and stuff, through the whole season and everything, and the bees will make their own CBD honey as well that you can sell directly out of the hive that you shouldn't have to do anything to. Just because they harvesting the nectar and all and everything from the flower, and somehow they turn it into honey. Yeah,
Wow.
tasty honey with that.
So have you had that before? Like, do you have like a beehive and make it turn into CBD honey, or do you just do it yourself?
It's a it's a farm in was it West Georgia? They had a bunch of hives around their field, and they was the ones that extracted theirs that way. Us, we just take the honey and infuse it with the isolates from our plants that we have processed.
Gotcha. Okay. Hmm. All right. Let me see. What else? Do you have anything else you want to speak on? I have a couple more questions. I just have to
Keep
look them over.
going, keep going. Answer.
Do you have anything that you want to mention?
Well, just that we've branched out. My business partner, my brother, he went over to Africa last year, so we've been expanding out in Africa, trying to see what we can do to grow the business out there as well. That's where coming with the other industries of because I would love to get into the building material side of hemp because it's so broad, and if we can cut the cost on building houses, but make it just as sturdy and more safer, um, then I'm game. That's the route I definitely want to be a part of.
Yay! Excited. Yeah, you gotta venture out and move on up because also, like in Africa, you don't know how the business could boom out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because there may be people out there that don't even know how to do it, and now you're bringing something new to the table.
Correct. Correct. Bringing new industry to Africa as well. Um, and that's what I love the most about it, is just finding different avenues to where you can support um, a cause to help somebody else and also make some money at the same time. Win-win ain't a bad thing in my book.
Okay. Now in Africa is THC legal?
No, it depends on the country, but most of the countries that I've seen, it's not legal.
Okay.
But the hemp is in some countries. Depends on what country you exploring in. Like they got so much stuff going on in Africa right now,
Hmm.
with a lot of these countries trying to oust their colonial powers that oversee them for so many centuries. So there's a lot of new independence that's coming out there. A lot of new people is getting the spirit to try and open up and start new businesses. So um, I can say some good has come out of all the conflict that's going on at the moment. But it's definitely giving people the spirit and opportunity to go out there and build new industries and new businesses. So if you got the capital to do it, hey, go back to the motherland and get started building them is what I tell you.
No, for real, yeah. Hmm. Okay. When you are in the process of like, planting, from planting to having it full grown to where you can like cut it down, how long does that process take?
It depends on the seed. Some seeds can you can grow them in 90 days, and they'll be ready. Some seeds you may need to grow a little bit longer. So our average time is from about May to September, August, September. It just depends on how quick the flowers start to bloom and how quick the plant matures. Because like we had some plants that it was way over our heads. It was probably about 10 feet tall, and they
Wow.
was growing very well. And then you go to the other side of the field, and you may have some plants that only grew about 5 feet tall. So it just depends on the ground, um, lighting as well. Some of the pole lights that are out there. Of course, the plants did better by the pole lights because they stayed on at night. So they got
Mhm.
24-hour sun basically. Um, so it just depends on your choice, the seeds, what you choose to seeds, and how quick they get to the mature stage of so they won't test over. So sometimes they may get close to the testing mark before getting fully mature, and you have to go ahead and harvest them then.
Mhm.
So it just depends on your seeds you get. Just research your seeds and get what grows best in your region.
Gotcha. So, do you plant different seeds at the same time?
Oh yeah. Like it just depends on how many strands you grow, because the more strands you grow, that goes also with testing, because they charge you um, per plant to test it, and those fees may range. Like so, it may cost you um, $200 per plant. So if you grow, I mean, per strand of plants. So if you grow 20 different strands, then you're gonna get hit with $200 per strand you growing to test it. So that can add up as well. So that's why I just choose how
Mm.
many strands. That's why most people only grow one strand, two strands to cut some of the costs down on testing of when they come out to test it, because you have to pay for all your testing that the state does.
There ain't no grants or nothing that can help you as a business.
Now, when it comes to testing, uh, you paying out of pocket. It's out
That's
of pocket.
expensive. And I guess it's expensive because it can be a good profit.
Correct. If you got your infrastructure set up, a lot of people are in these co-ops these days. So they all pooling their product together to be able to sell and make a profit, a big profit. The little smaller farms like us, the little mom and pops, where we're not really trying to, um, you know, not really into co-ops. We just find our own little avenue, just trying to figure out what all we can do with the plant before we really jump in, you know, head first with what we want to do. Because just building the farm infrastructure is kind of costly at the end of the day. If you don't already have your wells set up or your irrigation set up, you know, your field upkeep, just making sure that you keep all the weeds back. You ain't got no trees growing in there, so that infrastructure is tough to keep maintain and keep up. So you know, have all your stuff, your decisions made before you jump into this, and just don't get no whim up your butt and just decide you want to be a farmer like us.
Because people do it just because of the idea, but they don't realize that it's a lot of money
Oh,
in it.
oh yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot. That's why that first year a lot of farms failed. That first year because they didn't have a place to sell their product at the end of the day. If you don't have a place to sell it at the beginning, then don't try it, because you don't want to be left with all that product and have no place to sell it to.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, okay, I know you said that sometimes you go out to the market and then you sell at the market, but what about other places that wants to buy
Well,
some syrup and say, I want to try your syrup?
you probably have tried it. You just probably tried it under somebody else's label.
Really?
Yes, yes. it's all white labeling. So we just making the product. You put your own label on it and bring it to market. So you probably have tasted it and you just don't know.
What?
Yeah.
So why are you not selling it under your own label?
Because we was selling, we had our own site and we was selling it online ourselves. But with my brother needing to go to Africa and me staying back here and trying to manage everything, it was a little difficult to try and keep up with it and keep up with the 9 to 5 and the family, and
Mhm.
it's a bit much. So I needed to take something off the table to make my life a little easier.
Mm. I didn't know that you can do that. I didn't know that you can like sell the honey. You said white label, so meaning that they can put their own label on the pack.
hmm
I didn't know you could do that.
hmm Yeah, the grocery stores do it all the time. So, like you'll see Velveeta cheese, but once Velveeta got as many boxes they need, another company may say, "Hey, I just need some macaroni and cheese as well. I don't care. Here's my name, my label," and they'll label it on there. So, like the Great Value brand, that's the same thing like Walmart does.
Yeah.
The Great Value compares to the name brand, so the name brand more than likely makes it, um, but just sells it at a different, cheaper cost, so they can get rid of the extra product and stuff. So
So
a lot of businesses do it.
so you saying okay, for example, like with the Velveeta cheese. So it's like Velveeta cheese, they have Velveeta on it, and then say like if it's sold in Walmart too, then they'll slap the Walmart label on it, but it can still be the same Velveeta cheese.
Correct. They
What?
just Yeah, they may some of them may have clauses where they have to change one or two ingredients to make it where they're not exactly the same ingredient, or the same recipes, but for the most part, you're getting the exact same product. It just may have changed one or two ingredients in it, so it won't fall under that person's
Right.
patent.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because like sometimes even I be looking like I don't want the cheap brand and it costs, you know what I mean? Like
hmm
50 cents cheaper. I want the name brand, like that's gotta taste better. It's the name brand, you know what I mean? But
hmm
it do look like on the back of the packages and sometimes it says the same thing, or like you said, one other thing is misplaced or something, or it's a little bit more of this, a little bit less of that, but you can't really tell if it's, just a little bit of something missing.
Correct. Correct. So, just the easy way where you can sell a lot of product as well, but um, you probably won't make as you'll make more money on the retail side, but it just make it where I can stay in the business, without having to deal with the stress of actually running, having to get this product on the shelves, get these orders out every day. It allows me a little bit more flexibility.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, let's see what other question. Do, 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 do. Okay. So I was reading that there are different types of CBD oil. You know
hmm
that?
Yep. Uh, so there's like tinctures. It, it's definitely different flavors. It's basically the same oil. A lot of them add different flavors. I haven't seen um, too many different oils other than maybe just the flavors that they offer. Um, all of them should be the same extraction oil for CBD. It should be it's three different processes, if I wasn't mistaken, to produce the oil. But at the end of the day, it's oil.
Gotcha. So I read that it says, like you said, the isolates, it says
Actually, that's the
CBD,
powder form. Yeah.
mm-hmm, broad spectrum,
hmm
and full full spectrum?
So the isolate is what you get. It's the powder form of CBD. It has no odor. It has no taste. That's why you see people turn it into different products with.
Okay.
So that's the fusing process that you will use 9 out of 10. Or you can use the isolate. I mean, not the isolates, the oils as well. Um, but for the most part, a lot of the candies and cooked baked things, a lot of it can be the isolates that you put in it to make those products. The full spectrum oil, that's the oil that we made and sold as well. Um, this farm out of Kentucky, he produces all our oil for us. You just got to bring your product to him, and he'll turn it into oils. And that's why we did a peach oil, full spectrum oil for us because we ain't seen nobody else have it. So that's what made us go that route and try peach, especially since we in Georgia.
Right. So what's the difference between a full spectrum and a broad spectrum?
I haven't really done too much with the broad spectrum. I think the broad spectrum is more um, like I want to say like oils that you would use for um, not necessarily oils, um, but material that you would use. What did they put the broad spectrum on there? You got me stumped now. I got to think on that one for a minute. I got to go back and research my books because we only use two of them, the isolates and the full spectrum oil.
Does the broad spectrum have nearly all the components of the plant, like the flavonoids and the proteins and stuff? In the full spectrum, it has all the components, including THC. Is that right?
Yeah, because it's the oils. It has THC in it, but it's at such a low quantity of THC in it. It's not like it's um
Yeah, this is like
10%.
3%.
Yeah, it's like point 0.3. It's supposed to be point 0.3 per serving, and even if you add it up for a whole bottle, it still ain't gonna get you high.
Right, right, right. You're not gonna feel anything. Yeah, because that's what the maximum you can have before they say, "Oh no, this is illegal," right?
Yeah, it's 0.3%. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
our testing is 0.33%. So if it tests anything over that, then we have to burn our crop.
really.
Yeah.
How much? 0.33? You said?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So that's why
Yeah.
you got to stay on your testing.
Right. Huh. Okay. Um. Now, did you know? Well, you probably do know, but a lot of people don't know that there's also CBD for pets now.
Yes, they got a line of animal treats. Cat, dog. I was amazed when I first time I said a lot of elderly people actually I see purchase down here. They purchase a lot of those pet treats for their dogs and cats. Yes.
And that's crazy. Because I know I
Yeah.
went in, I think it was PetSmart or something like that. I went into, and it was like CBD this and that and
Mm.
whatever. And I like a CBD bone or something. It's like CBD gummies for dogs and stuff. So it's kind of like, what? Now I understand everybody gets pain, even animals. You know
Yep,
what
and they got health issues just like you and I.
I mean? So I guess that's why. I guess that's why they made it, right? To relieve their pain too.
Exactly. They got the same health issues and helps with them as well. Like I seen one treat they made for supposed to be for allergenics of dogs to have allergy issues as well. Like skin rashes or skin conditions.
Yeah.
Um Lady used to give it to her dog faithfully all the time and she said ever since she gave it to him, the dog didn't have the issues anymore. She kept her food the same. His diet, his routine stayed the same. The only difference was she would give him those treats every day. And She said, I think it took about 2 weeks. Once it was in the system for them to fully stop scratching so much and itching. So,
Wow.
but yeah, animals as well.
Wow.
That's why I tell people this has so many different properties and healing abilities. We just haven't researched them all to figure it out.
Yeah. Now, the only thing I didn't see any CBD for
Hmm.
was for fish.
For fish, no, I haven't seen any for fish either.
The fish, they have problems too. Like I have a fish and one time the eye, it was like some pus behind the eye.
Hmm.
And it was like trying to rub the eye on like whatever like was in the tank because I guess it was itching or something or irritating. And I'm like, dang, I wish I can help you. Like the only thing I could do was like get the little oil and stuff for the water and clean the water out. But I'm like, what if I gave the fish some CBD something? You know what I mean? If they had it.
You may be on to something.
Mouth,
Maybe on to something.
close my mouth. Cause I mean if they did it for like cats and dogs and stuff like that, then I'm pretty sure they're probably working on maybe fish, but I don't know. Fish, their diet and what they eat is so sensitive. You can't even feed them everything. Like you can't even really mix food too much.
Exactly. So
So
that's why you just can't give them anything.
uh, so I do want to be like, open your mouth. I'm gonna drop some CBD chocolates in your mouth. You can't for real. Fish, they really don't even cooperate anyway.
Look, we may need to, the way people keep polluting our waters and we getting our fish from these waters. We may need to start giving them some CBD and
Yep.
see if that'll help heal them back up.
Yep, exactly. Throw it to the whales and all that. Yep, you're right about that. But yeah, definitely. Maybe I am on to something. I should work that out, huh?
There you go. Find somebody who willing to do the research.
Right. Um, okay, and last question. If you take CBD, will you fail a drug test?
We get this question so much, and the answer is yes, you can possibly fail the test by
Mm,
taking CBD. So I
wow.
would definitely advise if you got any tests coming up or anything, definitely stop. Depending on how often you take it, depends on may determine um, how much is in your system, but it's in the cannabis family. And, cannabis typically takes 30 days to flush through your system. So if you got any drug tests, I suggest you don't take it. I've heard people say that they stopped taking it a week or 2 weeks before they got a test and passed.
Mm,
Um, Everybody's body's different and everybody's body processes stuff differently. So um, I would
wow.
definitely be careful with that one.
Now I thought it would be you you will pass it because it's just CBD and if it's not having any type of THC in it, but like you said, maybe it depends on the strand of CBD. And
But
that
the test, a lot of those, the drug tests don't, it's not testing for the difference in between or the quantity of THC. It's just testing for cannabis.
right, and they don't care where it's coming from. They just see that cannabis in it.
Correct. You probably have to get go super detailed to get a blood test, but at the end of the day, they gonna say you failed the test. Once you pee in that cup and that test don't come back, if it tests for find the cannabis in your system, then it's gonna fail it.
So when you say cannabis, are you meaning THC?
They're testing for because you remember the CBD oil has a small trace amounts of THC in it, so their testers picking up that small trace. So that's why I say I wouldn't take the chance, even though it's not enough to get you high,
Right.
but it's enough for you to fail the test.
Right, because it has like that. possible 0.3%.
Correct.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's so wild. You know what I mean?
It is. It is.
Now, I
But
guess even though I have a medical card, I guess depending on the job, they still may have like say zero tolerance for it, and you still, so that is true.
because it's still a federal ban. It's cannabis is still or marijuana is still a federal ban. So you can't no job. That's how the jobs can say, hey, government says this is not legal. What the state may allow or decriminalize it, but federally it's still illegal. So they going by federal statutes versus state statutes. Each company is different. Some companies are more lenient to their workers in states that allow recreational, and some companies are not.
Right. You're right. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, thank you for all that info.
There you go. Hey, to all those wonderful companies that do allow their employees to indulge, thank you.
Right.
Because depending on what your job is, you may need it to get through your job.
Exactly.
If you got a lot of pain issues and you got a hard job, you may need that when you get home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For real. Because I be right at my job popping me a little bit of CBD. Sometimes, I mean, they be giving me a headache sometimes. So, yeah, sometimes you just need it. But again, CBD is legal, so I won't get it. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, you got a card, so you good to go.
Yeah, that part of THC, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so where could somebody find you? Like, if they wanted to support, if they wanted to, like, whatever, like, how could someone get in contact with
On
you?
our Facebook, we do have a Facebook page for Country Boy Farms. Y'all can go and leave them messages or anything inside of there, and that'll get back to us.
Okay.
Especially if you want us to some of the product for white labeling, um, definitely reach out to us on our Facebook page, and we'll help you out. If you got any questions, we'll help you out as much as we can.
Yay. All right. Thank you. And I'm gonna be hitting that up too. Like, I want some syrup.
I remember that next time I go to come up there, I'll definitely drop some off to you.
Thank you. You know I'm down to try your products. So
Hey, they're good. They're good. And like I tell people, like I had one guy when we was at the expo, he literally came and bought $500 worth of honey from me just because it was authentic, natural honey. Because I guess the state that he was coming from, they sell so much of that synthetic honey and stuff. And so he was like, man, I'm just so happy to have some real honey, and then I get CBD with it too. So, yeah.
hey. Oh wow.
So enjoy the products. I'll make sure when I go up there, because I need to make a trip soon, hunting season starting. So this is my downtime of the year when the harvest season ends. So uh, I'll be definitely getting out there, and I'll make sure I bring you some when I come up there next time.
You. And then I see another video showing off your product.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for coming on the show.
No problem. No problem. You have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You too. Talk to you later.
All righty. Bye-bye.